Welcome back to our weekly walkthrough, where we bring the above, below, and talk about the transits you should know. So, after some illness ado and getting thoroughly retrograded, I am back, and we are here with the start of December 1st through the 7th. We have a direct Mercury in Scorpio, a direct Saturn in Pisces, and a freshly ingressed Venus in Sagittarius, and we are in Sagittarius season. Missed all the ingresses, but I'm here. We made it. We're still alive. So with that, our theme of the week is a little bit of that we're still alive energy. We have the Hermit reversed, and this feels a lot like, oh, I gotta people. Sagittarius season can be pretty social, especially with Sagittarius Venus. Mercury being direct now is also asking us to hey, maybe have the conversation. Just a thought. But there is some reluctance. There's I kind of just want to be cozy. Do I really want to talk to people? I don't know. And so again, we've talked about this before, but I really want you to focus on what is the difference between solitude and isolation? Solitude can be very fulfilling. Solitude can give us our space alone to reflect, to go through and scrapbook our lives and find out what truths do we really need to be examining right now? What wisdom do we need? Isolation can be trapping ourselves away from the support we need, without the guidance, without the sages and the teachers and the therapists that are so hermity. So I want you to really sit with that. Ask yourself, are you getting enough solitude or too much isolation? Okay, moving into Monday, we do have some conflict energy. We got our adorable little Five of Wands with the Luna Lapin tarot coming up. I'm a little more inclined to think it's kind of a softer, more playful Five of Wands energy. But we do have the Aries moon, trine Mars in Sagittarius, then conjunct Chiron before squaring Jupiter in Cancer. And then at just after 8 Mountain Time, we're moving over into Taurus for our exaltation. But then we get an immediate square to Pluto after 11 Mountain Time PM. And so with that on Monday, I want you to try and look at the impulses you're feeling, the things that you want to do, the different competing desires and that fiery passion, and figure out what is actually fulfilling to me, what is honoring my body on this moon day, and what is just agitation for the sake of agitation. Particularly because we have the sun on Antares, which is a battle star, and there can be some headstrongness, there can be some ego with this, so just, let it be fiery fun rather than a firestorm on Monday. Meet your needs so that you don't take out their lack on somebody else. Moving into Tuesday, we don't have too much. Venus and Pluto have a chat, and then the Taurus moon and Pisces North Node have a chat. We have the Two of Coins reversed with the Magician. And this feels like addressing those imbalances and where things aren't working can lead us into a greater sense of agency and power. So Tuesday is a really good day to start doing things proactively, to leaning into that agency, and maybe a little bit more of the solitude that is kind of the theme of the week that we're balancing, just to make some space for those corrections on Tuesday so that you can start taking actions. On Wednesday, we have the moon opposing Mercury, and then in dialogue with Jupiter and Saturn, conjuncting Uranus, in dialogue with Neptune, and then it moves over into Gemini and trines Pluto. So it's busy, and we have the Four of Curses, and this can be a fixation on what's not working. This feels like hitting all of those outers and being oh wow, there's actually a lot that's being asked for me right now, and I do feel better resourced, but can I really do this? I don't know. And then the moon moves into Gemini right before 8 p.m. and it's can I even do any of this? Can I really do any of this? I thought I could earlier in the day, but now I don't know. It's kind of weird. So journal. I want you to journal. I want you to get it outside your head. I want you to talk to people about it. I want you to embody it, dance it, move it. Find different ways to process the information so it doesn't become kind of doom spirally, particularly because we're moving into that full moon window as soon as the moon hits Gemini. And this full moon is tricky because, we first have an opposition with Venus, and then the exact full moon is at 4:14 p.m. Mountain Time. Moon opposes Sagittarius Sun, and then an hour later squares the nodes. Now, when a planet or point is squaring the nodes, it's called the bendings. And you can view it as like getting the bends, like you emerge too quickly and you're feeling off balance and weird and you don't know which way is up. This is more true when we're dealing with mutable signs, and even more true when we're dealing with double thinking Gemini. And so Wednesday's full moon is confusing. And I do not want you to expect clarity from it because that will lead you astray. And so on Wednesday, we have our strength card. And this particular strength card is very much about that sense of liminality, about carrying our support structures forward and just one foot in front of the other. Like, we may not know exactly what we're building yet, but we know we're building something, and that's enough. And, with full moons, there is a release component too, so it can be about removing the things that are getting in the way of what you're building. But again, if you don't know what that is, that's okay. Just pay attention to where Sagittarius and Gemini are in your charts and think about those house themes for how it's going to impact you personally. Now, we jump down to Friday, and the sun immediately gets the bends, squaring the nodes just after 5 in the morning. And then we have the moon opposing Mars and Sagittarius in dialogue with Chiron, squaring Saturn, and then the Mars trining Chiron, and then moon squares Neptune before finally escaping into Cancer and ending our full moon window just before 7 p.m. And Friday feels busy. It's a busy Venus day. It's a little hectic. There's a lot going on. And we have the Page of Cups and a rather gothic lovers card where we have one lover above and their deceased below. And with that, there can be a desire to indulge, to cope with the confusion. But instead, I want you to just keep track of the omens, keep track of what comes up. Again, we don't need the understanding yet, but we can be looking at what's happening. We can be jotting it down for later reflection. And also aware of some of that ache. What have we lost? Where are the connections that we're still tending that are one-sided? Where are the grief points where we're a little enamored with suffering? And those are things I want you to really consider. Where is this doing us good versus not? If you are someone who likes to imbibe things, maybe go easy on Friday. It feels like a day where it's too easy to go too far and maybe not have a good time and get more consequence than pleasure. We jump into Saturday, and Mercury trines Jupiter and the moon trines the North Node. It does feel like we're starting to get clarity, but with our Seven of Cups reversed, it's kind of clarity about what we don't want, what the options aren't, and what's not working. For Saturn's Day, draw the lines. Be actually, after everything that happened this week, I don't want this anymore. I want to do that. This is actually what is moving me. This is actually what is pulling me. And focus on those pulls. Focus on the clarity points that do come in, rather than what continues to confuse you. On Sunday, the moon squares Chiron, conjuncts Jupiter. Then we get a trine between Mercury and Saturn. Then the moon trines Saturn and then trines Mercury. Moon has a dialogue with Uranus, trines Neptune, and then moves over into Leo just before 8 p.m. and opposes Pluto. With the relic reversed, this is asking us to go forward. Don't get lost in all of the historical things that have happened, all the things the retrogrades have brought up. Don't go backwards. Finish the unfinished business, but march on. All right. Happy week, y'all. Let me know what you think in the comments.